Presented by DHL in association with Sri City, largest private sector multi-product special economic zone in South India, and Financial Express, airline partner Kingfisher Airline, India's only 5-star airline.
Year 2007. The world was basking in the glow of a strong economic growth rate. Governments, bankers, corporates and economists believed that they were all living in a safe haven. But this belief was short-lived. The resounding collapse of Wall Street created economic seismic waves, causing widespread damage. Major economies came to a standstill. The picture in India was no different, but the ones most affected were the Indian exporters. 9% of India's exports go to the United States. Countries like the UAE, China, Singapore, the UK and Hong Kong are its other major export markets. With these economies facing the brunt of the US slowdown, the Indian export fraternity was hemmed in from all sides. The worst hit were labor-intensive industries like textiles, handicraft and leather. Even India's marquee sector, the IT industry, could not insulate itself from the shock. Result, in 2008-09, India's exports just managed to meet its downsized target of 170 to 175 billion US dollars as against the original target of 200 billion US dollars. But in spite of all obstacles like drying demand and wild rupee swings, a clutch of exporters identified an opportunity in this crisis. They rejigged their strategies, explored new markets and added value to their goods and services. Not surprising then that the economic downturn didn't tough their brand equity or balance sheet. It's these qualities that won these companies the DHL and CNBC TV18 International Trade Award 2008-09. This third edition of the awards brought to light numerous stories of Indian exporters. Exporters from both large and SME category who fought tooth and nail to retain their position as India's brand ambassador even in these tough times. ICRA, the organization behind the awards methodology, had a tough task deciding winners from the 2,200 nominations.
These companies were not only upbeat, they had a clear strategy in place. They had products which were adding value. They had products where they had little or no competition. So, fundamentally they had got their whole act right in terms of identifying a good market, in terms of segmenting it and looking at niche areas where they were able to map their own strengths onto the demand which the geography was having.
The case in point is Bosch India, the manufacturer and supplier of auto parts to the European and the American auto companies. In 2008-09, it clocked an export figure of 680 crore rupees, which was an increase of just 2% over the previous year. But remember, the company posted this figure in times when Ford, General Motors and Chrysler had collapsed and the entire Indian auto component manufacturing industry had lost all its hope. But Bosch India's novel strategies and innovative products ensured that the downturn did not dent its performance.
Over the last 3 years, we were concentrating, in addition to exports to original equipment manufacturers, to automotive aftermarket as well. And this strategy, which we started about 3 years ago, has started paying off when the automotive market slowed down in the middle of 2008. And we will continue to not only focus on automotive aftermarket exports, but we will also add to exports of new products like diagnostic equipment exports to Asian countries, to European as well as to North American markets.
Another winner that rolled out a seamless solution to tide over the crisis was Jindal SAW, a leading manufacturer of submerged arc-welded or SAW pipes used in the transportation of oil and gas. For the last 10 years, this company has been exporting more than 50% of its produce. Today, the company provides piping solutions to the Middle East, America, Europe and Southeast Asia, and of course, India. Since the company's business is dependent on crude supply, it had to tackle a different set of challenges in its international markets. In the first half of 2008, prices of SAW pipes were on a rise and contracts were coming in thick and fast. Thanks to crude prices that reached a high of $147 per barrel. But with a sharp correction, crude prices slipped to a low of $33 a barrel, due to which energy firms postponed their expansion plans. This obviously affected the company's order book, which witnessed a drop from $1 billion to $840 million. But the company had a buffer in the form of burgeoning domestic demand. That quick switch from export markets to domestic saw them emerge as a clear winner.
India is one of the best country to face this crisis, because we have domestic consumption and we have domestic production. And we are a entrepreneurship driven economy, not state driven economy like China is. So we are actually better placed. GAIL has a number of projects which they have to come. If you see, the whole western coast is going to be flooded with LNG terminals, and they'll have to be pipeline, and this LNG will have to be transported across. I think India will be able to, our own country's demand will be able to sustain a little bit dent in export market.
If focusing inwards was Jindal SAW's strategy, Praj Industries, that operates in the space of biofuels, has engineered another unconventional tactic which helped it to bag the coveted trophy. Praj Industries has been creating innovative technology platforms to make biofuels for the past 25 years. At present, as much as 60% of its 800 crore rupee order book comprises of international business. This company has been affected by the slowdown, but in a different way. In spite of a growing demand for biofuels, its overseas clients felt the pinch of the credit crunch. Raising project finance became an issue, because of which some projects in Praj Industries' pipeline got delayed. At the same time, retaining the business in hand was important, so the company started capitalizing on its strengths and scaled up the value chain with what they call value analysis and value re-engineering. In simple language, it started offering its existing customers more for less.
We study what we are offering today, what design we are offering, what material of construction we are offering, what configuration we are offering. So we analyze that and we work around that to modify or change the design without affecting the performance of that equipment. We change the material of construction, and by that we are able to bring the cost down, but it's not a cost reduction alone. So it's like a value enhancement by just small modifications.
The sheer benefit of size, experience and pedigree helped the big companies to survive the tough times and emerge as winners of the DHL and CNBC TV18 International Trade Awards 2008-09 in the enterprise category. But what about the SMEs who are facing the biggest impact of the economic slowdown? We find out after a very short break.
Participate in the Tata Campus Crucible contest. Which brand derives its name from the Japanese god of mercy? Canon, Bridgestone, Lexus, Aiwa. SMS TC space your answer to 51818 and win exciting prizes. Presented by the Tata Group. Leadership with trust.
क्या भेजा वरुण ने? अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है।
लगता है आपने मेरी चिट्ठी नहीं पढ़ी माँ।
दिल पर बिल का बोझ मत लीजिएगा। वोल्टास का स्टार रेटेड एसी है, कम बिजली के खर्चे में ज्यादा कूलिंग देगा और सेविंग्स भी। बेझिझक चलाइएगा।
वोल्टास, जैसा इंडिया का दिल वैसा इंडिया का एसी।
सोचा था बैंक है, दे आर ऑल द सेम। सोचा और कुछ अलग पाया। IndusInd Bank makes you feel richer.
I dream of a place.
A place where conflict becomes peace.
A place where peace is not just in heaven.
A place where heaven is in a smile.
This is my dream.
And this is my W.B.
Fly to Singapore with the lowest airfares from Yatra.com. Log on or call now. Yatra.com, the smarter way to travel.
The world seems so perfect during an upturn, but a slowdown changes all perceptions and negates all calculations, like it did for India's small and medium enterprise or SME sector. This sector is the nation's second largest employer next to agriculture and contributes 40% to the total manufacturing exports. However, today the crash of export markets has threatened the very existence of many SME operators. SMEs who joined global supply chains and made inroads into the foreign markets have suffered the most. Nonetheless, few have managed not only to hold their ground but also steal a march on their rivals. The SMEs who won the THL and CNBC TV18 International Trade Awards 2008-09 proved that in times of crisis, it's not the size but a well-honed business plan that counts. Like the Mumbai-based Mandhana Industries. This company operates in a sector where players got entangled in their own game. Apparel manufacturers rode the boom in style by focusing on high-value clothing. But as the recession deepened, the demand for the same turned fickle. India's textile exports fell by 30% in 2008-09. Surprisingly, the business of Mandhana Industries remained unwrinkled. The strategy to concentrate on Europe, a market that contributes 95% to the company's exports, worked to its advantage. Mandhana Industries has a well-thought-out reason to explain this heavy dependence on one market.
Doing business in USA is rather hard. You have to depend too much on one or two customers, which has never been our business policy. And Europeans definitely pay better. The risk involved in Europe business is much lower. It's more reachable. And we are a very fashion-oriented, fashion-driven company, and the market in Europe really suits us because we really get correct price for our products in Europe.
There's another interesting aspect to Mandhana's success story. While slowdown was forcing many SMEs to down their shutters, for this company, growth was still in vogue. In 2008-09, it exported goods worth 150 crore rupees and touched a turnover of 500 crore rupees, registering an overall growth of 30%. The company made this happen by weaving out a tight business model and catering to the demands of different demographics. Another SME that got its strategy right was ADF Foods, a company which gave Indians a chance to relish Mother's Recipe, a brand which they later sold to Pune-based Desai brothers. Erstwhile American Dry Fruits Limited, this company began as a humble retail store in 1932. Today, it exports 94% of its total produce.
The business we are in is
basically Indian food, and selling Indian food in packaged form to the Indians, there is still a lot of resistance within the Indian consumer. While overseas, the Indian diaspora has no option but to buy packaged foods, and they are more open to buying packaged foods because packaged foods overseas is a well accepted product category. India still, the Indian consumer still has that resistance. They feel that packaged foods has got preservatives in it, which is why they are not healthy. You shouldn't buy that.
With global economic growth on a diet, the country's processed food product export figure slimmed from 46% in 2007-08 to 20% in 2008-09. But hunger for ADF foods remain intact all across Gulf, Europe, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong and Malaysia. Its products even managed to secure a place in the shopping list of many non-Indians, all because of its impeccable quality and a plate full of promotional ideas that lured its cost-conscious consumers to reach for their wallets. This multi-brand strategy has helped ADF Foods to increase its revenue from international markets by 7.8% and touch a sales figure of 97 crore rupees in 2008-09 and, needless to mention, win laurels. After looking at how some of the SMEs tame the downturn, we take a look at companies for whom winning is a habit, a compulsion. Companies who come back year and year to receive the DHL CNBC TV18 International Trade Award. But that's after a very short break.
Samsung LED brings you sharper images and brighter colors. The ultra slim Samsung LED TV, a whole new species of television.
You changed my view of my life, of all I do. You changed my view.
Where on earth are you?
Welcome to the Vista view of life. Indica Vista.
M&M's Relapse, exclusively on in.com.
A little bit of a smile on you, little bit of the morning dew, little bit of the fun and joy, oh yeah. Baby, just love your way. A little bit of our flips and oops, a little bit of what we wanna do, a little bit of everything will come your way, oh yeah. Live your life your way. Live your life your way.
Presenting Your Way Banking from Federal Bank, your perfect banking partner.
When I am on the go and I want my music, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I ask? I can get the answers from the web, but when I can't find a computer, I just use the SL Pocket Internet with Yahoo OneSearch. It's so easy. I just press the internet button, go to SL Pocket Internet, type the questions in the Yahoo OneSearch box, and get my answers in seconds, organized by categories. It helps me find my songs, and someone to sing along.
The economy may be slowing down, but your passion keeps growing. The markets may be gloomy, but your ambition only gets stronger.
ICICI Bank Business Banking presents CNBC TV18's The Emerging India Awards 2009, powered by CRISIL.
India's definitive SME platform for 4 consecutive years. For category details and to nominate yourself, log on to emergingindia.moneycontrol.com.
Real heroes are born in tough times. Nominate yourself today.
Emerging India Awards 2009, presented by ICICI Bank Business Banking, your partner in growth. Powered by CRISIL, in association with National Stock Exchange.
Vince Lombardi, one of the most successful NFL coaches of all time, once said that winning is an all-time thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Quite rightly so in case of some of the Indian exporters. The rupee appreciation against the greenback in 2007-08, followed by falling global demand and high cost of credit in the year 2008-09, sent shockwaves among India's exporters. The Made in India tag started losing its price advantage in the world markets. Exporting countries like Bangladesh, China and Taiwan flooded the markets with low-priced products, swinging demand in their favor. But there were a few who defied this phenomenon. One of them is Hyundai Motor India. Taking home the DHL and CNBC TV18 International Trade Award in the automobile sector in 2007-08 and 2008-09, Hyundai has accelerated faster even during times of a downturn. Hyundai Motor India is the second largest car manufacturer and the largest passenger car exporter from India. The 2007 downturn due to a strong rupee did not put brakes on Hyundai's growth, with the company exporting its 400,000 cars. Then came 2008. The financial crisis in America saw legendary brands like Ford, General Motors and Chrysler go almost bankrupt. But Hyundai, instead of taking a U-turn, zoomed ahead by selling as many as 2,43,931 units in the overseas market in 2008, clearly reinforcing the fact that in times of a slowdown, it is a strong product portfolio that helps to build huge sales volumes and fuel expansion.
Clearly, the I-10 and I-20 made a big difference to our export volumes. In fact, if you notice, last year we almost doubled. We grew our export by almost about 92-93%. Now, majorly riding two things on a product and the quality, because network anyway has been there, and we are also expanding to newer markets. In fact, 2 years back, we were operating in roughly about 72 markets. Today, we are covering almost about 100 markets.
Along with quality, the willingness to purchase is equally important. When news reports said that prospective buyers were postponing car purchases, the number of Hyundai customers all across the globe just kept increasing. Right decisions at the right time. That seems to be Hyundai Motor India's success mantra. The other company that has followed a similar path to glory is Pune-based Zensar Technologies, a company which delivers comprehensive services in mission-critical applications, enterprise applications, e-business and BPO services. An SME that has won the DHL and CNBC TV18 International Trade Award trophy not once, not twice, but thrice. Why not? The last 3 years has seen this company give all adversities a tough time. No rupee fluctuation could hack into its growth engine. No slowdown could dent its export figures. From a turnover of 343 crore rupees in 2004-05, the company clocked a turnover of 908 crore rupees in 2008-09. This fast rise is a result of the company's strategy of staying in tune with the changing times.
3 years back, the selling point for us was, can you meet a better rate? Can you meet a better rate than the competitor? And it was mostly essentially on how we do business vis-a-vis a purely rate game in terms of whose price is better than ours. Over the years, we realized that we need to kind of make this model a little more better and then kind of give them true transformation in creating a better value for our customers in terms of showing them how we can make the difference.
This ability to create value has helped Zensar Technologies go places. Places as far as the US, UK, Germany, Sweden, Finland, Middle East, South Africa, Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia, Japan, Poland and China. Even today, when several companies all across the globe have put their IT expenditure on hold, Zensar Technologies is busy expanding its global footprint. This league of repeat winners includes names which are forces to reckon with. DHL and CNBC TV18 International Trade Awards 2008-09 saw enterprises like Reliance Industries and Sun Pharma back on the dais to collect their gleaming trophies. These companies have come out of the crisis only to place themselves in a position better than before. Not by chasing mindless growth targets, but because of a unique business model and focused strategies. Hence proving to the world that success only comes to those who fight for it.
Presented by DHL. In association with 3 City, largest private sector multi-product special economic zone in South India, and Financial Express. Airline partner, Kingfisher Airline, India's only 5-star airline.